Hello. So today we'll start a new part that is cloud service development and testing environment. We'll see various development and testing environment for such cloud services. So first of all, we'll start with this basic web service development environment for the which is available at the NetBeans, and it's like you have customer DB database project in this whole framework of that web service development. You see that there are various entities like customer.java that are classes, and that classes are actually web service. Then discount code.java, this is also web service. So these are entity like web service, and they are actually been calling through some entity manager, and they are actually doing the customer feed restful request for the particular customer. So you can have this type of web service development environment in NetBeans. So you go and download NetBeans new version and then check how to develop the web service on that, and develop some your own web service and then publish it on your local host. So what are the parts of that are being supported by NetBeans IDE, means integrated development environment for web service, that are basically for the Java Enterprise Edition, Java EE. It includes basically Jakarta XML web service, JAX-WS. Jakarta RESTful web service actually involved JAX RS, and Jakarta XML binding basically use JAX B web service standard. So these are the three parts that are available in the Java Enterprise Edition. Then you have the NetBeans SOAP based web service. So this is an example for the calculator web service that is written in the Java, and you have this type of SOAP based web service development, and you can have adding operations by just this button, and you create, and first of all you create and develop a web service from Java classes, and you'll have a, or if you have a web WSDL available file, then you import, and automatically these operations and parameters are being managed by the IDE, and it will create a web service. Then basically Java classes are being annotated with at the rate javax.jws for the web service for automatically creation of some web service project. So you have some liberty for creation of automatic web service code template. The template would be created. You just mention the name of the operation and number of parameter, and the template would be created. Thereafter, you write the business logic. So you write the business logic with some parameters of input and output. You'll have that operation built. Thereafter, you can convert a SOAP based web service to the RESTful web service as well. So there are two web type of web service as we discussed: SOAP based web service and RESTful based web service. The SOAP based web service can be converted to RESTful based web service with the help of that ID, and you have to manage those resources and action available for the web service node. Thereafter, you can use some of the web service customization editor to create asynchronous web service client like you are seeing on the image. So this type of thing you can create. Thereafter, NetBeans RESTful web service. So NetBeans RESTful web service actually have uh, two type of part. This JAX RS would have two type of thing. Java Persistent API JPA and for creation of entity class and patterns and various type of databases. Thereafter, it has the second part for the RESTful web service wrapping the entity beans that can perform CRUD operation. CRUD means create, read, update, and delete. So this type of operations could be done with the RESTful web service and Java Persistent API. Persistent API for the database and various type of entities could be there. Thereafter, this is an example of web service client. So, what actually web service client could do? You create a client like a desktop application or some browser that could be handled with browser. Some uh, web page could be there. So basically, you generate invoking code for that web service. You have a web service running on the server that could be of RESTful or SOAP based, it's fine. Then you have to write a code for the client as well. That client actually request that web service. So how did that code will request? It has to be like JavaScript client that could be stubbed as WADL means web service application, web application development language, descriptive language. So this type of WADL web application descriptive language type of things are there. Then you can create automatically RESTful based Java client based upon some web service that you have. You can have Java web page and Java web application. So Java desktop based application. So both of the thing you can create and you can have that Java client for that RESTful web service, and that some of the part are being created automatically for you based upon reading the type of operation in that and input output parameters in that RESTful web service. Thereafter, the you can create server side mashup means multiple applications or services could be added, and the web service descriptive language descriptor files are there. So they could be merged and work together in the server side mashup application. Thereafter, you do the drag and drop for the operation management for the Pojo for the servlet. You have these type of JSP for calling some of the operations in the web service. So basically, you have what you have web service. In that web service, you have various operations, and you can call it. Call it with what? With some languages or the framework that you are seeing on the Pojo servlet, JSP, PHP, and you can generate some of the automated code as well for accessing those web service. Any query till now? Okay, so we'll move ahead. So I hope that you have understood that you just drag and drop some service operations and you can create a Pojo or a servlet JSP PHP type of automated calling that web service calling operations co- that web service operation calling code in the client side for requesting and getting the response from that web service server. So this is the features of a web service client. What are the three features? First is it can access web service, which actually manages the most popular RESTful APIs available in the uh, framework. What are the popular RESTful web API? You can also add on some of the popular RESTful API of providers like Google, Facebook, Yahoo, Flickr, Amazon, Twitter, and many more. So they have some standard s- and famous RESTful web API that you can use it for accessing some of the like Google Maps are there. So you can ask for the Google Map and resource that location locator. So you can use such uh, Google Maps feature through some RESTful API provided by Google Maps. So this type of features are there. You can add on to your own web service that how to locate this distance of your organization to some customer with that. So like in the hotel management, so you have uh, Google Maps inbuilt with in the web page of some hotel booking website. So this type of things are there. Thereafter, web service interoperability technologies means there has to be standard API, standard management things are there that actually make the things interoperable between the two different web service. So this type of standards are being maintained with this NetBeans web service client. Thereafter, third part is mobile web service. So how to uh, request a web service through some mobile, and because server would be a large computer and you have some uh, app which is actually requesting that web service, and you have to write the code on that mobile web service part of that NetBeans web service client. The next, Eclipse web service tool. So now we are discussing about Eclipse. So there are two framework, NetBeans and Eclipse. We had already discussed about some features of NetBeans. Now we are going to discuss about features of Eclipse. So Eclipse basically have web service tools. So web service tools could be like J2EE standard tools, JST we can say, which has the web service components that actually contains tool for various activities. So what are these activities? There are four activities which are listed here. First is developing and interacting with a Java web service. So you can create how to develop and interact with that Java web service. So that framework of IDE, integrated development environment of Eclipse provide you that. Then after development and interaction of that web service, you can have extensible web service wizards which can create a web service and its client according to the uh, need of that web service. So first you create the web service, and then you also parallelly create a web service client, and you manage all these operations, input parameters, output parameters with that feature of Eclipse Web Service tools. Then you have the server management with web service Ant task. So Ant is basically do the compilation and build of a particular web service. So you till now you created and written some code and business logic in that web service. Now you want to build and deploy. So you use Ant. Web service is being used for the task of creation consuming web service for the build and deployment purpose. Thereafter, fourth part is server management, where to means what are the server that actually deploy that web service. So the wizard extension is Apache Access and Apache Access Web Service Runtime. So basically, these are the Apache Access, and basically Access is the web server which actually deploys that web service, and it keeps on running and monitoring. So server actually has hardware infrastructure as well as operating system, and above that operating system you have some middleware like and platforms like Apache Axis. So there are various type of servers that actually being supported. For example, two different IDE we discussed: integrated development environment, NetBeans and Eclipse. So NetBeans have Glassfish server, and that is available as open source. So I hope that you already know about these type of servers. Glassfish server is being supported by NetBeans, and Apache Tomcat is also being supported by NetBeans, and Eclipse supports Apache Access and Apache Tomcat. And they also have some other kind of server features available, but majorly these are the server which are being managed by these two IDs, so that you can have complete execution and running of a particular web service. Thereafter, Eclipse web service tools have various type of components. So you first have to understand till now. There's any doubt till now? Okay, so we'll proceed. So web service component that actually of that Eclipse development environment is basically the web service deployment consists of. There are how the web service preference pages could work, how the web service framework could be created, and how the web service could be find out. So these are the basically part which are being supported by this, means discovery of pages could be done, how to do that. You can also have web service explorer for that purpose, and and you can do publishing on the UTDI, and you can invoke such web WSDL or WSIL with some native XML. Thereafter, you have WSDL model based feature, that how to create some web service through some existing WSDL. Then WSDL editors are there. You can edit the XML written of that WSDL. You have the WSDL and web service interoperability validator, so that you have the interoperability between the two different type of web service. So you have this type of features available on that Eclipse ID. Then we are going to see testing framework. What are the testing framework? We are going to study Apache JMeter. And Apache JMeter basically have parts or components for doing the load testing, that how the functional behavior occurs for that particular web service for a particular load. Means there are 100 requests, there are 1,000 requests, how the change will happen from 100 to 1,000. Then performance measure, that what is the response time, what is the time of response in 100 customers, and what is the time with 1,000 customers. Then testing of that application through some various security, various input output, that this, if these are the input, then these type of output should be there. Then static and dynamic resource management of that web service, dynamic web service, dynamic applications are there. You have the simultaneous heavy load on server, and you have the group servers that and network that can be managed. You have the object to test its strength. Then you have the overall analysis of performance under some load type. So this type of things you have to do. Then you have the ability to extract some of the data from HTML, JSON, XML, and any textual format. So you have this type of Apache JMeter testing framework features. Then these are the features that we are talking about. So there are various features like they include performance and testing for the various type of applications over the server and the protocol like HTTP, HTTPS, Node.js, PHP, Java. There are many type of things that could be tested ASP.NET on over the JMeter, FTP, database, JDBC, LDAP, message-oriented middleware, JMS, mailing, SMTP, POP3, IMP, native command, shell script, TCP, Java object. But we are mostly interested in SOAP and RESTful based web service testing. Why? Because we are dealing with that cloud based thing. So, this is the part SOAP and RESTful web service. Testing is the part provided by the JMeter, Apache JMeter, dedicated for cloud type of things. Then you have basically Apache JMeter testing framework for the testing performance of static and dynamic resource management. That how the response time, how the what is the output for a particular input. This type of things are being done with this JMeter. Web service dynamic application, how they are being done. Then load testing, functional behavior, how they perform, measure of some performance. Then web HTTP and HTTPS things are there, Java, Node.js, PHP and ASP.NET. These are the things that could take place. SOAP and REST web services are there. So you have how to test SOAP based web service, RESTful based web service. So these are the features that are being required for testing the cloud based some environment. These four things you have to understand about the Apache JMeter. You can download and install that Apache JMeter and learn all these things if you want. So we'll show the example for doing the web service test plan. So you basically have some file. You go to file and you have some template. You ask for that template and you build some web service test plan. And in that web service test plan, you do the HTTP request default and you change the server name and of that IP. And thereafter, you write copy paste actually SOAP request and change the path. What is the path? So path is like weather web service slash weather dot asmx. This type of SOAP request you can send. What is the SOAP request? Body data, which actually have input as 60601 as the zip code. So for this zip code, you'll get the weather. So this is how you do the testing for the RESTful web service, which is similar to and similar. This is the testing for the WSDL SOAP based web service. But parallelly, you can do the testing for the RESTful web service as well. And how you can do? You actually modify this HTTP request with some method to select that how you want to test whether it is create, read, update or delete. So these are the four methods which are available on the RESTful web service. You just choose one of the four method and then you do the body data. Then in the body data you mention that JSON or XML for the request and you'll get the response according to that web service. Then you can test it. But you mention the path. So path would be the same. You just need to change what HTTP request with one of the four method and with body data. Then we'll see SOAP UI based testing framework. I hope any doubt or any query in this figure or in this image or this testing framework. Okay, shall we proceed? So SOAP UI based testing framework are there. We'll see these are the images for the SOAP UI based testing framework. So how you do the testing? It is basically open source available tool. You download it and execute it for your web service testing. You create and manage some of the part of execution, and you do the execute and end-to-end test for the RESTful and SOAP based web service. So both of them could be tested. You have the GraphQL API for testing, JMS, JDBC, and other web service type of things you can test. So, for what are the features available by the SOAP UI for the developer and tester is like you can deliver RESTful and SOAP APIs. SOAP user interface is just an open source and it's very easiest to use. API testings are possible. Tool building for the REST and SOAP QL and SOAP GraphQL microservice and other backend service could be done. These are the four important points that you can have from the SOAP UI. So what are the type of testing that are being possible with this SOAP API testing tool? Scriptless functional testing, security testing, load testing, API mocking, protocol support, vibrant open source community ecosystem. In the first scriptless functional testing, you have simple create and run some complex scenario. So various type of complex scenario you create and you just simply click with mouse and right click create project. Then in that project you create some scriptlets functional testing and you create simply create and run the complex web service. Then you have the security testing. In that security testing some test and scan could be done. You protect some service and do the uh, web testing for the security vulnerability, how much your web service is secure, how to manage that web service. So you do the testing, scanning, protect some particular web service could be possible. Then load testing is there. Some heavy loads could be given like 100 customer, 1000 customer, more than 1000 customer load could be given to the some of the web service and you check how the web service responds. So in basically in higher number of customers, higher number of users, if you do, then it fails. So you need to test how long it could bear. So how long is test could be given to the SOAP-UI API testing framework. Then API mocking, you mimic some of the real web service. So mocking means you just create an imaginary client and you create an feature of that client and that actually mimics some of the real web service client or some web service itself. So that actually request means mocking means mimicking. So mimic means artificial. So artificial client or artificial website, web service or website or desktop application type of thing you create and you request with that API mocking. So you'll get the response according to that. Thereafter, you have the three protocol support. What are these? Simple object access protocol of SOAP and web service descriptive language type of things are being supported for testing purpose, whether they are correct or not. Then representational state transfer REST type of protocol that you can test. Java message services are there for testing. Thereafter, there are various open source communities available in this. You can go and contribute for the development of SOAP UI and improve the whole framework of SOAP UI. This is the open source community basically do for the SOAP UI. Thereafter, SOAP UI framework. This is an example that how you do the SOAP UI based testing. So you go to the file menu in the uh, topmost left side, and you create a new project and you import some WSDL in that, and you just do the copy paste of instead of, if you don't have a WSDL, then you copy paste the path of WSDL available on internet. Then what you'll get, you actually that will parse the whole WSDL and find out what are the operation, what are the input, what are the output, and the SOAP-UI will extract based upon this type of parsing what are the input and output. So the example is for the calculator web service. You mention uh, the path of that initial WSDL, which is available on dneonline.com/calculator.asmx, and you create basically sample request for all operations. So there are four operations: add operation, divide operation, multiply operation, subtract operation. And then the request body was being created. Request one is being created automatically, where you actually have the add operation. And the add operation in this, if you double click, then this request one will be open, and you have this type of window. In this window, int a, int b are need to be mentioned because these are the input, and according to that input you'll get the SOAP response. So this thing in the request one is a SOAP request. So this is an example of a request one. I will go in detail of this request. Basically, you enter two integer, what, one and two. One for the int a, two for the int b, and you play. On the top left hand side, you have the play button, and you play. Then the request will go to the this SOAP request will go to the server where it is www.dneonline.com. Then you will get what response. In this response you will get 3, because 1 plus 2 is equals to 3. So 3 will be response, and you have the whole request and response. And is this is the code for the SOAP request, and this is the code for the SOAP response on the XML. You can also have form based things available, where you have directly int a available in the, you can see another image. This is form based. You simply write int a1, int b2. You don't need to deal with XML. Without XML also you'll get the response accordingly. So the alternate for the XML syntax, you have the request and response overview with the form based things. Thereafter, you have the also have a feature for RESTful API testing. How you do the RESTful API testing? Again, in the file section, you'll go to the new REST project, and in that new REST project, you mention this URL and click OK. Simple. What type of request URL you mentioned? petstore.swagger.io version 2 pet find by status question mark status available. So you create OK, and you'll get what? Four type of request: get request, means whether it's available or not; post request, whether you want to add a new data or not; put request means update the data that already exists in that RESTful web service; and remove data. So these are the four basic operations you perform with some RESTful HTTP request. And you click again play button. So this is how you created the request one. You create OK after checking close request window, show test case editor, show request editor. So you basically have hierarchy of test cases. How the test suite is the topmost thing after the project. So you have first project, then you have hierarchy of test suite. In those test suites, you will have various test cases, and in that test cases, you mention the RESTful request. And how do you mention the RESTful request? You mention the RESTful request in test step. So this is the in the orange box you can see test suite one inside this project whole RESTful project one. You have the test case one. You in that test case one you have the test step. So you can have multiple test step. You can have multiple test cases. You can have multiple test suite for a particular same project. So this type of hierarchy you can create, and you can do what soap based UI testing, test cases creation, and some management you can do with the help of request and response type of test steps. So I hope you go and try for this SOAP UI framework, download and install it on your uh, l- computer, and then you start testing some of the available web service, or that are could be SOAP based, or that could be RESTful based. So I hope, thanks all of you. So we'll finish up here. Next, we'll discuss web service slicing for regression testing of web service. Any query or doubt? Okay, thanks. Bye.